Okay. Yeah. I would like to start by the species profile and taxonomy for those of you who are not familiar with this bird species. And yeah, as you know, it's a small ground nesting bird, usually like to run in between grasses, and it's also I have a long hind claw, and it also nests in the grass, and it resides in the distinct genus Heteromirafra. It also contains another species, rare species, Roots lark, which is really far from the Liben lark where it resides here. So the male also has a courtship display that goes for about 15 to 18 seconds, and then we normally use that to identify the location of the bird while we are doing the field visit. We are in the really extremely high probability of extinction of this uniquely threatened species because of so many things, due to extreme habitat, its own habitat specificity, because it's really likes the grass, and the grass is also a source of income as well as food and a livelihood for the community. So you can imagine the local community having cattle and also using that for agriculture at that place, and also overgrazing and climate change also affecting that space, while this critically endangered species, the Liben lark, tries to survive. And to give you a timeline, of what really happened, uh, 108 years ago, Godfrey Archer, who was a colonial administrator of the Somaliland part of the Somali, first identified the bird and rightly named the bird as uh, Heteromirafra archeri. And then in 1968, another French um, ornithologist discovered a second population of an isolated uh, species of this in the Liben Plain near Negerli, 13 kilometers away from the city, to be exact, in the Liben Plains. And, from 1980 to 2010, the Somali site was converted, uh, actually not all this time to a refugee site, but, to a greater part of it was a refugee camp, and also it is, since it exists at the border, it's also used as a military camp and as well as refugee camp. And because of that, the Liben lark number has getting, decreased. The habitat disturbance also increased as such because of this. And from 2011 to 2024, the second Ethiopian site near Jijjiga, between Jijjiga city and Somali border, that's Toguchale, another population was found. So you can see through this 100, 110 years, 12 years, uh, it doesn't show or reach research, or reach a concern about this species, or we can find of a great research in this regard. And I would like to go into into comparing these two places, the two remaining habitats, the Libyan plain, which is affected by drought and agriculture, And yeah, as you can imagine, there is a drastic decrease in the habitat area from 750 square kilometers to 40 or even less than 30 kilometers as we speak. And it's also affected by, security problems at the moment. And it's really saddening that this area keep on shrinking, and a lot of effort have been conducted to help this area, as I might explain it later. But nevertheless, it remains to be a very tough situation in Nagali Borana for the Liben Lark. While in Jijiga Plain in the eastern Ethiopia, which was discovered in 2011, a critical second refuge of this species, but again, it faces the similar situation, intensified agriculture and grazing is also there, and also responsibility of offices between local administrative offices that I mean have also didn't decide how to deal with the administration of those areas because they have a stake on it. So we're facing an ecological collapse, vanishing nesting cover, as you might expect, because the grassland is being overgrazed, and also trampling effect is also high. The grass height will be reduced, and the soil erosion as well as the fertility will be, heavily affected. And as a result, female nesting Liben lark species have a lower, survival rate for the second generation. And also, what was affecting was this the social breakdown of the traditional pastoral management system. One of this is the Kalo, the where enclose an area and avoid it from interfering for a brief time, and then you can collect the grass by cutting or allow grazing, in a really managed manner. But that is fading at the moment. And also, the government is also helping, the pastoral community by providing schools, public health, and as well as water points, where this also helps the local community to stay at some place at the same place for a year, which also affects their usual, movement of the community with their cattle, giving a rest for part of the grass to, regenerate. And this one also have been found a problem in, adding the seemingly ecological collapse. To show you the primary traits drivers, I managed to categorize it in like this: in unregulated grazing, crop expansion, and also climate change are among the primary drivers of this seemingly extinction of this species. For example, if you can, we concern only about climate and population. Locally, human population doubled between 1994 to 2010. Even with the droughts, you know, the population doubled. And in these areas, the why it's significant is as the land will not expand, the number of cattle will increase, and also the local community, recognize wells as you have, a very good number of cattle, 100, 200 more than that. So imagine those families having kids, and those kids also, those children also try to have that amount, the same amount of cattle with the same land. That is really problematic, and yeah, we have seen the ill effect coupled with this, regular cyclic droughts and overgrazing. So, uh, the all this has resulted in uh, catastrophic population fall that was 89% uh, of the number of the species has declined. We've been doing this annual transient survey on the Liben Lark for such a long time. For example, in 2007, it used to be more than 60, but that number plummeted to 7 males by 2018. And that's really shocking. And urgent attention is required by 2007. This is in Nageele Borana. So locating, for example, a male individual in Liben Plain took more than nearly 10 minutes. Today it requires more than, hours, or in some places, days. So the global population, as you know, is now estimated fewer than 250, which makes it critically endangered. And one of Africa's most threatened birds. So I'm trying to show you here how it is significant and how it is important to give all our attention at the moment for this critically endangered bird. So, what are we doing, or how are we facing this um, extinction problem? Is by, you know, by collecting different partnership and grassland reserves and urgent rescue actions together in a project, so that to see what we are doing resulted in a good effort, and then to go full force in getting money and intellects and people all joining for same action. So I'll try to give you an overview, like the project context and evolution. From 2008 to 2018, early Liben Lark, plain work focused on preliminary rangeland enclosures like on Kalos and limiting the overgrazing and fencing different places where we find the larks in good number. But due to the regional instability problem, uh, that that part of the project have been now almost terminated. So that's one of the problem in the project. So another security stabilization in Jigjiga enabled us for a better research and safe environment for field work. So during next 2 years, the 2023 to 2025, with the fund uh, uh, that was gained from BirdLife and with the help of Species Guardian Group, as well as EWNHS, with local regional offices, and also the Ethiopian Wildlife and Natural, the Ethiopian Wildlife Authority. We were able to work and confirm uh, some lark locations and raised local community awareness at the same time. So at present, we established a technical group to launch immediate restoration and delineation initiatives. This means, it's just a concept or it's just a framework that's existing at the moment. The technical groups, which I will later on might explain, uh, are ready for action, and they are well aware uh, what the problem is, and they are not from only one office. They're from different offices, uh, the agriculture office, tourism office, investment office, and local regional administrative offices. So this is really, really helping, and we are hoping to score big time on this regard. So I'll try to tell you a little bit perspective of where we are and what we're doing. Now, is the second largest region and 30% of land surface of Ethiopia. And the region is well known for its livestock export and rich fauna and flora, most of it which is unexplored. And then it's also known for its frankincense and myrrh, supply. And this is the location map where we find our study area and relative location map of the Somali region. So to give you a perspective of what we've been doing from the survey point of view, this location map of our transects will tell it all, and I'll try to explain as we go. Past the checkpoint and one, uh, there are settlement areas and farms, and also um, in 2023, 2024, and 2025, we've been working our transits, more than 120 kilometers. At one point, we're like traveling 180, nearly 80 kilometers within less than 20 days. And that was a lot. And in that point, there are checkpoints, airports, and bush encroached habitats also included at that area. So we somehow managed during the years to focus where the local habitat seems supporting the Liben Lark, where we find a very good grassland, even though which is near farming area. So as you can see here, our lark occupied areas are, shown here in area 1, area 2, and area 3. And these are areas where we found our larks, but these dots are our transects summarized and worked for about 3 years during that time. So these areas were very good. We found a very good grass, though at some points they're intercepted with very, narrow farmland, a strip of farmland, as I will show you later. So this was actually what gave us hope and what gave us really the momentum to fight for this bird survival. So um, you can see in area 1 in 2023 we were able to find 5 birds, and then in 2024 it was 2. So, you know, due to this could be due to invasive weed growth and also human settlement disturbance. There is also at some place also there are paths, and also at some point there was also a camping site for the military, for the militia there, and and you can see in different places a failed crop, and on the other side also there is an expansion of urbanization. People are given land to settle, and the city is expanding. As a result, people are coming to these areas also. So, as Jijiga also has been seen as the Jijiga area has been seen as a potential area for expansion of agriculture, it also poses related traits in this regard. So area two seems okay, bird number wise, but that might not be, due to a very well, grass or something. Some of them stable number because some special distribution shifted away from the Far East and back to the northern side. Occupation might happen, uh, a number of unanswered questions might also be there, but it seems the number is stable. We were getting the same number when we go there. And at area three, there is also a decrease, as you can see. Uh, in 2024, there was an increase, but that didn't continue to be the same in next year. The It used to be the primary, primarily the Liben Lark stronghold. It contains three key hotspots, 3 kilometers apart, and overall count in 2025 is likely tied to lower, the decrease could be the 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 transit has been done just away out of the rainy season, which might be a little bit far from the wet season. That could be the reason. But nevertheless, when you see the number from 25 to 16 is significant. So what are we going to do? The very first thing we did was, if that's the case, we have to look for additional grasslands which looks very good for Liben Lark so that we can take this to the task force and then to the regional administrative office to diplomatically put the issue, this critical issue into picture and then start negotiation. But we have to know what to ask first. So we did our survey and we used maps and GIS techniques to identify potential areas which could be very good for the remaining Liben Lark to flourish or to continue surviving. So this is what shows you. Um, this is the picture that shows where it could be good for the Liben Lark, and in future project approach, we can ask this land, and then we can deploy our project to have a very strong hold, and we can think after that a very good, strong hold. So we somehow talked with the communities and the Kabbalists in the clan leaders in that area in identifying these areas when we also or allocate or use the GIS to have this map generated. We didn't stop there. As I tried to mention earlier, stakeholder discussions were there to have this technical working group. It was not easy, as everyone is involved on try to show their might in that area. For example, the tourism bureau, the tourism office will say that place or this issue has to be directed from our office, and we should be the sole responsible for the Liben Lark so that we can have the tourists coming in and get the benefit out of it and keep the bird future alive. And also, the investment offices say, that area is really good for agriculture. Mechanization is also possible. So our strategy as a nation is agricultural based. So we have to go in full force, and that area is has to be, you know, uh, directed, or we have to dictate the rules and regulations in that place, what's gonna happen. And at the same time, the agricultural office also have a stake in it. But to bring them into one office and show them how they can do and how we can benefit all of us for one, for one community, for one bird, and as a nation also, was really fruitful to have reached in agreement and having a technical working group so that they know who is part of that group and what they're doing and when they're going to do it. And the discussion will also be there. But what remains is the platform is there, the project and the implementation stage is awaits us in front. So this is also, how we try to communicate, you know, in a very nice way, in not in a regular or a professional manner, but just like a family, we're talking with the clan leaders in some restoration ideas and also livelihood diversification and what they are really looking in, out of this project and how they can involve and how it's important. And the global perspective also was really amazed. They're really amazed when they come to know that this critical endangered bird only lives in a certain area, which happens to be, you know, in their uh, agriculture place or where they graze their cattle and things like that. So they're really, really interested, and they're also encouraged to give land without any compensation should there be any conservation of conservation project ahead. This is, mind you, this is has been done only in talking. We can't, put it in force because we are lacking the very mm, good driver behind us, which was the budget, and which I will come later into it. So I said diversification. So diversified livelihoods will encourage conservation, as you know, in and as it happens in different parts of the world. So we were looking into different things. Poultry is an option. And also fattening is also another option. But we're looking into so many things that can snap in just like that when we start the project. Should we get the fund, and should you get the encouragement from the responsible stakeholders? And it's not only that, we are also really impressed by the young, how they are really interested uh, into uh, into knowing um, what the bird look like, why birds are important, and to see the birds um, uh, for the first time from the books, reading, uh, you know, um, stories about the birds and everything these what they are doing in the class was augmented when they just see these books. So our effort also trickles into the young generation. We are engaged in the school. We are engaged with the teachers. We are engaged with different stakeholders because we know this thing will not happen, will not have a fruit if we are not going to uh, uh, if you are not going to involve the Yangs. So, so let's talk now about securing the future. And when we talk about this, it's really yeah, it looks like very good in saying it in presentation or in paper, but putting this all together into practice is really hard, and this is where we need all the support, all the money, and all the intellect to come into effect. So what we're thinking is to have a habitat delineation, which I already tried to mention those areas. Uh, so one is that, and the second one is a joint governance, and also a grassland restoration, and the last one is alternative livelihoods. These are really, really big things for the future of the Liben Lark. And uh, we have to somehow get into practice. We have to generate maps of the grassland, degraded zones, and we have to look where the weed is encroaching and also where the bush is encroaching, where is suitable, where it's not suitable. We have to look into it. And also, as I said, the technical group has been established, and how we can strengthen that, how joint governance can happen in the perspective of the local community. That should also be researched. And also the grassland restoration is one of crucial thing that has to happen, and which is actually a very good one, given the fact that there is a history also, there is of grassland restoration activities, and also research, grassroots research, though it's not like developed, still it's still there, and also it benefits the local community as well as our initiative for this project. So all hands has to be on deck to have a grassland restoration, which has to be also supplemented with research and money, and then technical capabilities. I already mentioned about the livelihoods that also possible to snap in at any moment. So we also have to think. But here is the big hurdle. Where are we getting our money? Where are we getting those funds which make our big dreams happen? You know, it could be one of the best project, one of the big returns, if everything is uh, going to be practical, if we can change every theoretical aspect into practice. But in order to do that, we have the technical capability, we have the researchers, we have the will from the local administrative office and all stakeholders. We have the will. We've been doing this for, I don't know now, more than 10, 15 years, and very big, keen researchers, elite researchers like Nigel Coller also, been into this, for several years. So now what remains is let's get the money and let's see all these theoretical and technical capability, amalgamating together to produce a very good outcome from this project. Until now, we are getting from BirdLife and EWNHS are working together. By the way, EWNHS is the BirdLife partner in Ethiopia, and they are working together to get us by work, to work this project at a bare minimum, speed. Like we don't have enough money to fully implement our project, but we will have enough money just to cover the expenses of the field researchers at a minimum rate to go and, do the transit. And doing the transit and coming back with a report will not be a good approach in the coming years, because as I tried to show you, the number of birds are getting decreasing, and that's not a good thing for our future. So I hope, ladies and gentlemen, you can help us on this regard to get funding or to help us work together to implement our project and see the outcome, which could be a very good example for other research in different parts of the world, especially in Africa. I would like to thank everyone, especially the team, Friday for Birds, EWNHS, BirdLife International, and also Open Earths, Big Dreams, and everybody who participated in helping us to go all the way until now, to have this fruitful result which we did until now is duly acknowledged. And I hope this will not be the last point